The issue is that when you leave this vacuum out there, we don't explain to the American people what is going on and what is the strategy. Then you allow people on social media and other places who have literally no idea what the hell they're talking about to fill the vacuum. And let me give you an example, or your visual aid. So let's look at where Russia is at in Ukraine right now. What they're trying to do is do a movement around the eastern borders to take the Donbass and the Luhansk regions. Then they want to go through Mariupol to consolidate their gains in Crimea, and then go on towards Odessa. They're almost at Odessa right now, which will be create a southern corridor between them and Moldova, which would effectively strap in Ukraine with no southern border, no access to the Azov Sea, no access to the Black Sea, no access to the Mediterranean, and then also be kind of bracketed in by Belarus to the north, which is going to become a part of the Russian Federation the next couple of years, effectively destroying the country of Ukraine without having to take Kiev. What we saw at the beginning of the conflict was a very quick blitzkrieg towards Kiev, which failed, and then a longer, slower process, which we're seeing in the southern and the eastern regions, very similar to what we saw in Chechnya in the late 90s and Georgia, the Georgian Republic in the mid 2000s. So what Russia has said is, we will give you the prisoners back. Just stop sending money to Ukraine so that we can finish our war a lot quicker. There will be hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of Ukrainians killed if we make that agreement with them. Secondarily, Russia said we want to do prisoner swaps. There's a Russian arms dealer named Victor Bout, who was supplying arms to the FARC militia, a terrorist organization in Colombia, which is part of the reason we're seeing these issues at the southern border. The FARC terrorists are driving people from their homelands, creating these refugee crises up towards the southern border. The Russians have said, we will give you Brittney Griner, just give us our terrorists back. So you'll see tens of thousands of people dead in Central and South America through these arms deals, and it's if we make those deals. President Biden hasn't explained this to people, which leads social media to make really, really dumbass statements like, well, if this was LeBron, he would be back already. No, they wouldn't, because you have social, economic, and geopolitical aspects at work right now. And at the end of the day, when you leave a vacuum out there where people cannot understand what's going on, they make up their own things around it. I think that's been a failure of the Biden press team. But on the policy side of it, you got to know when you go to a totalitarian country, you have to play by their rules. We have known since last year, since November of last year, that there were Russian troops that were congregating on the Belarusian border and on the border of the Donbass region there in Ukraine, and we knew at that point that we should have been pulling Americans out of there, including American contractors like Brittney Griner, and because of those issues, that got us to the situation where we're at right now. But if you're not willing to explain to the American people in very granular terms what is going on, then the vacuum gets filled by social media, and that's where the Biden administration finds themselves at right now. There is no easy or quick solution to get through this. What Russia wants is trillions of dollars in oil and natural gas reserves in the south of Ukraine. They're not going to give that up give up one of their bargaining pieces being Brittney Griner. And if you make that deal right now, let's say you make that deal with Russia right now, that you will stop supporting Ukraine in exchange for Griner, or you will return Victor Blanc in exchange for her, then Russia will know that anytime we need anything from the West, just kidnap a celebrity and we're willing to negotiate with terrorists. That is not the precedent the United States of America can set. So it's terrible being in the middle of a foreign policy bouncy ball, as it would be. But in reality, the United States cannot simply take the step of negotiating with the Russian Federation on this, because that will set a precedent going forward where they will no longer be safe for Americans to go to Russia or any other nation that has foreign policy issues with the United States of America, because they would also know that if they just kidnap an American celebrity, they can get what they want from the country.